We on?
Yes, we are.
Okay, while we wait for like some of you guys to join in, today is guys our third live session, and just a few facts that are happening is we're not having the best time of our lives because of COVID, so that goes without saying. But on the positive horizon, like things look a lot better in that you know people are expecting a vaccine to be coming out sooner. I mean, I don't know, maybe some of you guys follow the financial markets out there. You guys will see that all indexes, be it Asian indexes and American indexes, have seen a significant rally over the past 2 or 3 weeks. All of this is in anticipation that a vaccine will come out soon. AstraZeneca and Oxford have been pretty much in chit chats about it, and I think there's a lot looking positive towards that front as well. So anyways, like what we want to discuss today is a little different in that the last couple of sessions we've been talking about scholarships. The one before that we discussed academic requirements and stuff like that. Today we want to discuss a little bit about part-time jobs in Canada as well as what the job market would be looking like in Canada because of COVID. So I think just like to start with basics, maybe like we can explain like how do we see the impact coming across?
So basically, first of all, I just want to introduce ourselves. We again forgot.
Oh yeah, we're not the best at that.
So he's Rabin and he's Aman and my name is Taman. So
And again, these names are not made up,
Aman,
guys.
Taman.
It's real.
Yes.
We're actually real people with real names. Okay, so during these times, guys, it's very normal to think that coronavirus is a huge reason that people across the world are getting laid off. Left, right, and center, we're seeing people getting, losing jobs, companies shutting down, stuff like that. But before people start to panic, it's also important to consider the fact that the same coronavirus that has caused these temporary layoffs is also leading to a lot of new jobs and profiles that are emerging. So obviously, a lot of you guys have seen companies like Amazon and Apple have seen a huge increase in their valuation. Even in fact, Reliance Industries, because of Geo Platforms, is seeing a huge increase in its valuation, probably like billions every single week. The reason for this is that the importance of the tech sector has never been in the light as much as it is now.
Exactly.
Everything has been done over technology. Like for example, like I over the last few years, I've always been like, if I want to order food, I would always call up the restaurant and order food. Even though Zomato and apps like Swiggy and all that have been here for a long time, during this period was actually like one of the very first few times that I downloaded the Zomato or the Swiggy app and started like ordering food online, or like even in fact like 2 weeks back was like the first thing I ever bought over Amazon. Like usually I have somebody in my family ordering online, but I was never a big fan of like online stuff. I like to much prefer like going to stores and all that. So obviously technology is seeing a boom, and because of technology we can see like a huge number of jobs coming up as well.
Not just that, my brother is enrolled in online dance class apparently.
Oh really?
Yeah, so they're having like around 50-20 people on Zoom,
Yeah.
doing their Zumba classes,
Yeah.
all online.
Yeah,
Via
there are
Zoom.
painting
Guys,
classes, there are art
online?
classes, yeah,
Yes.
painting,
So guys,
art classes.
if
everything
you
is like
guys
online.
want to do like some online dance classes, just send Aman here a message. And I think Aman himself organizes dance classes as well, right?
No, something like that, yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the popular jobs that you guys can see an increase in numbers? So, for example, I have a list of jobs down here actually. So, for example, engineering in artificial intelligence, right? Then you have artificial intelligence. For those guys who are not exactly familiar with what artificial intelligence is, it's a huge field. Like in fact, even our platform iApply is significantly powered by AI. So all the eligibility checks that you guys can do, all the tracking your applications and program recommendation engines that you see on iApply, they are all artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence engineer, data scientist, that's huge. We have digital content specialist, blockchain engineer. I mean, if you guys are familiar with what blockchain is, Then you have developers like full stack, Java, PHP, Python. Although Python and all that are a little older, you have a lot of opportunities coming up in like our language. Web designers, graphic designers, software engineers, data analysts, software and applications developer and analysts. You guys want to pitch in as well, or I can
Yes,
you can
the
continue going on?
major is like medical and health science, health service managers basically. As you know, the situation which is going on. So there is a lot of scope for medical students, like the BSc students, nursing students, and all. Yeah. So the next is financial analytics and mobile application developer and IT support and help desk.
So majorly what I believe will be booming over the next coming months is, first of all, the pharma industries. They've already been there. They've already been there, but now due to COVID, everyone in this world, सबको चाहिए मेरे पास. Even I have a couple, not just one, 2 hand sanitizers in my bag itself. So imagine girls carrying purses, how many they'll be carrying.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. So then I think we should stop carrying them and just ask girls for
Exactly, we should start
probably
doing
a
that.
good icebreaker as well, right?
Yes.
I think you're gonna be using it this weekend.
I have already.
Yeah.
Also, just to add to that, since technology, so for example, people are using Zoom, हम सब ये Zoom use कर रहे हैं, Instagram Live use कर रहे हैं, so that also opens the opportunity for hackers, right? There were also cases पहले कि Zoom के ऊपर
Zoom की calls बड़ी
हाँ.
hack हो रही थी and all that.
So that increases job profiles for cyber security, forensic sciences, people from that background as well, which were not that popular before the COVID, as they are right now.
Okay. So guys, this is just just to give you guys an idea of what we're really focusing on here is the fact that there will be a lot of jobs in the technology field moving forward. Be it like from big tech companies to smaller startups that are really starting to appear on the radar. We believe that significant opportunities still exist and they will continue to exist, if not like increase exponentially over the next 2 or 3 years. So for those guys who are on the edge, like maybe should I do something in a business related diploma, or maybe I should do something in software and hardware engineering, I think this can really play a crucial role in terms of deciding what you want to do. If you even slightly feel leaning yourself towards maybe I should do something related to computer systems, guys, I think you should go for it, because we really think that technology is the way future. Like it really is. Like even for example, CARAM's been there for like about 25 years, but it's only in the last 2 or 3 years that we've had so many developers be a part of our team, so many data scientists, so many engineers. We have 6 artificial intelligence engineers as well. So it's only recently that we've seen all of this, and we think that this trajectory is only going to grow. So if you guys are looking for something in that domain, I think that now's going to be the right time. So just a few specific questions that I think we'll discuss is, what are the best part-time jobs in Canada? What do you guys think are some of the best top part-time jobs that you can do?
So the basic part-time jobs, we cannot expect much unless you're going for a degree. For example, if you're a master's student, you're doing research. So you can of course be a research assistant, teaching assistant on campus. We'll pay you a good amount. Starts from around $16 per hour, goes up to around $30 as well.
That's pretty good. Like you guys, you as a teacher assistant, I mean, assuming that you guys are good with academics, you get to socialize. Not socialize, but like you get to interact with so many people in your class. You end up making so many friends. People actually respect you as well. If you don't have the best way with the opposite gender, I think you can use your moral authority here to kind of help yourselves out. What we're getting at is that teacher's assistant is actually one of the highest paying jobs. So if you guys, it also it's a huge thing to have on your CV, right? So let's say you guys, maybe you have finance TA, or maybe a business statistics TA, or a computer engineering TA. When you apply for a job in the related profile, it's really going to help you guys out, because it shows that you guys have closely worked with a research professor or somebody like that to develop a thesis, something along those lines.
Also, Uber drivers, they have. So in
Yeah.
India, what the thing
Uber.
is, Uber, all the taxis have, सब taxi को सब एक owner करता है. We all know. Right, कि एक अभी जैसे बीच में there was a little हड़ताल type thing going on in Punjab, so no one used to do it. But what happens in Canada and other countries, Western countries, is that they are paid by their own journey. So they have to pay around $3 just to the Uber company. They have their own cars. So you'll go up, बाहर जाओगे, you'll have your own cars. You'll sign up for the Uber thing. you'll have to pay around $3-4 per ride to the Uber app, and remaining all 10, 15, $20 all goes to your pocket. And that's not just a part-time job. I have friends who are doing a full-time job of that, earning $3,000-4,000 per month.
So if you guys, like, the best way to look at it would be if you guys have a car that's not very expensive, maybe it has like good mileage and stuff like that, then in that case fuel is not very expensive in Canada, however it's not like India. So you guys can really be earning good margins doing that. Plus tips make a huge difference. You probably think कि अच्छा tips से क्या फर्क पड़ जाएगा, लेकिन believe me, most people in Canada, be it Uber drivers, taxi drivers, restaurant, like, you know, waiters, cooks and all that, delivery guys, they earn so much money in tips. I would say like nearly 30 to 40% of their entire salary comes from tips. People are very generous in Canada, so that can work in your favor.
And students are making money for their next semester fees also from that particular thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I'll tell you what, some of the other good part-time jobs in Canada which probably don't pay as much as these are like getting an on-campus job. Getting an on-campus job, like maybe being a library assistant, maybe like working in the computer lab, stuff like that. That really helps you out because first of all, obviously you're on campus, you get a lot of benefits because you're working for the institution that you study in. Plus also, again, like come back to socializing, like, you know, you meet so many people on campus, they're asking you for help, you're guiding them and stuff like that. So it's a really good place to be, like, if you have an on-campus job. Plus, I'm assuming most people here will be going to campus every day to study. In that sense, it's also good because your job also happens to be at the same place you study, so your commute kind of really narrows down in that sense.
And in this also, like, co-op programs are offered by the colleges.
Yeah.
The in-house placement, and it will help you out with the, like, meanwhile you are studying, you can also take a practical knowledge on the study which you are already doing. So that is also a good thing. Colleges are providing co-op programs in between and on their last semester also.
Yeah. Okay, the next question we have is, how do you manage studies and a part-time job simultaneously? So the good news is you don't have to. If you have a part-time job, you know, it can always be a good excuse for failing courses, so don't worry about that. But no, guys, kidding. Like I think it's not very hard to strike a balance if you're a hardworking person, such as ourselves. I would say that, you know, it's a nice place. Like, you know, when you know you put in like 3 or 4 hours into classes and then you work another 4 hours, you probably made $100 that day. It's a really good feeling to have just by yourself. It's a very satisfying life, and obviously you have to be focused. Nothing gets done without focus. You have to pay enough attention to your academics. You have to pay enough attention to your job as well. But here's the idea, right? Like having a job is not as hard as it seems. It's actually a lot of fun. Like when I was in college, right? I was working. I was doing like a part-time job working in the library itself. So I was like essentially making sure that people are returning books on time. And initially I was like, do I really want to do this? मैं क्यों कर रहा हूँ यार? मेरे को लाइब्रेरी में काम नहीं करना, लाइब्रेरी बोरिंग है, मुझे वैसे ही पढ़ने के लिए लाइब्रेरी जाना पड़ता है. Ultimately, it was a lot of fun because, like, I made so many friends that way. Like, so many people I got to know that way by exchanging books, by, like, you know, collecting books from them, you know, making small talk and stuff like that. And also, it's really good exposure. So on-campus job, guys, if you guys can get it, if you're lucky enough, make sure that when you guys get to on-campus jobs get taken very fast. So just make sure that as soon as you guys get to campus, you guys already have an idea as to what are the various job profiles that are available, and that you apply for them ASAP.
Yes, there's a lot of benefits for on-campus jobs or teaching assistants. Not many people know that. People know that the degrees or the diplomas work on a credit basis, right? But if you're not failing, I'll say if you want to get an A credit, but you're failing by getting 2 or 3 credits less by the end of the year. If you're performing good and you have an on-campus job, the professors they're humans, right? They'll offer you extra credit classes, extra credit as well. And if you're holding a job, that will not only help you financially, of course, but also academically in this way as well.
Exactly. Okay. One of the very popular questions that we've seen in the past are, how many hours am I allowed to work part-time in Canada legally?
Right.
So what's the answer to that, guys?
That is 20 hours per week, basically. Yeah. But the thing is, you get a academic break in between. You can work full time in that particular break.
Yeah. So since we are doing a coronavirus, we're in that aura at the moment, that stage. So what the Canadian government has done at the moment there's 10 sectors which are what's it called, essential sectors. I don't remember all those sectors, but of course it's like health or something like that. They have been allowed to work more than 20 hours legally, right? And that's up to August 31, which is coming soon, but it is like most likely to be increased for the coming year as well,
Yes.
right? So there's a lot of benefits going to
So
come.
the answer is 20 guys, 20 hours.
20 hours per week. So,
Okay, will my part-time job add or build my resume? Okay, good one. Now let's say that I'm applying for I want to be a financial analyst at maybe like a CIBC or TD Canada Bank or something like that, and I have a part-time job mentioned on my resume that says that I was working as I don't know, like say like I was working as a cashier at a restaurant. Would it benefit me?
No,
no.
not at all.
No, I think you guys are wrong. It would benefit me, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of employers out there don't just look for your talent and relevant work experience, but they look for a work ethic. Okay, so any person who's been living in Canada, who took up a part-time job to finance his education, who's been working 4 or 5 hours every single day along with successfully managing his studies, what does it say about a person? Don't you think it tells that this person is a hardworking guy who can balance his life,
Yes.
who is aggressive and who is a go-getter?
Yes.
So I think that while it won't directly benefit you in the experience aspect of it, okay, like he has experience in the same field, unless like you want to be a permanent cashier or something like that.
Yes.
But it will definitely let your employer know that you're a hardworking person and that you have been through the struggle to make your ends meet.
Yeah. So,
So at this point, do we have some questions?
yeah, we have. So
Yeah.
first question was by Hanif. Do you have the recording of the last session? Yes, of course we have. You can go to our page in IGTV video section and you can find our video over there. And we are also we will also mention the link of the last last two sessions on this particular video itself. You can
So
go through
all the live sessions are going to be recorded.
yeah, it is recorded. So,
Although we much prefer you guys attend them live.
Yes, exactly.
so next question is by Mr. Professor. He's asking, have you guys doing more than 30 backlogs for PG diplomas? So see guys, we have some colleges and universities which are not considering backlogs, right? So yes, you can just contact us with your profile and we can guide you with the backlog thing.
Just to add, last year there was a student, not going to name the college, not going to name his name, but he had 58 backlogs, I think, 58 or 48. He got the visa and he's there.
58 backlogs?
Yes, 58 or 48, and he has the visa.
Wow. 15
So-
or 40, that's like a difference of 10.
Exactly, and that was an extended degree by a year as well. So if he can
So if you have 30 backlogs so far, don't worry about it, you can have another 20.
exactly.
Jokes guys, jokes, we're just kidding.
Next question is by Maninder.Gill. He's asking how much will be risk factor for me as second stage approval as I got AIP and my medical is passed and biometric completed as seen on my GC account. So biometric is done. Biometric is not happening, Maninder, right now. Might be you have applied for biometric before lockdown, I guess. If you have done that, there will be no problem in that. Yeah.
Only chance of rejection will be 5%. That is if you've either committed a crime in India,
Yeah.
or if you have forged some documents, put some fake documents. These are the only two.
But if you've got your approval in principle, if you're through with the first stage part of it, and everything else seems to be solid, let's say you're enrolled in a solid course, we'll be like, be fairly positive that you'll get your
Yes,
visa.
exactly.
So next question is by Gaurav Sharma. He's asking, sir, I have classes start from 6 September, but till now I haven't got AIP. What should I do, sir?
So have you applied? The thing is, if you applied for the AIP before September 15th, you are eligible to study online classes, and you can, of course, and that depends on which college if you have. So I'll take the example of Northern Lights College because I remember it at the moment. उनका क्या है, अगर आपने September 21st तक आपको AIP का रिजल्ट नहीं आया, so either you can withdraw from the classes to get a full refund, or you can continue it and see if you can if you either get an AIP approved or rejected, right? So at the moment अगर आपने apply कर दिया AIP के लिए, so you can definitely start the classes online.
So next question is related to our today's topic. So Akash Chopra asked a question: studying a master degree from a university in a small city where part-time jobs are less, or a PG diploma from a college in a big city where part-time jobs would be easily available. So
Okay, so first of all, two differences. Good question. First of all, if your goal is a PR, so either if your goal is PR, you must know that masters के लिए you get more points, PG diploma के लिए less points, right? If the finance के उस end से आपको issue है, then of course you would have to go to a place which has more part-time jobs. So this is a decision you have to make beforehand, right?
jobs
there's
is
nothing
not
to
an issue. I don't think
अगर आप
jobs
मास्टर
is not-
स्टूडेंट हो,
not that much.
आपको ऑन कैंपस जॉब यू विल गेट इट. यू आर मास्टर स्टूडेंट, you will get it, definitely you will get a research assistant job. Right? There's a lot of students who get that, and they're always required. It is always required. Who doesn't require that? Right?
And he's a bachelor student also. He is going for master or postgrad diploma. Obviously, you will get the job. Job is not an issue. Like, it totally depends. What is your mindset? You want to go for masters or you want to go for PG diploma? What is your financial status? You want a university with a low budget thing? There is a university called Memorial University. They have fees for masters for $26,000 for 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah. So this is the, and it is in the Atlantic province
It's like
itself.
discount tuition fees.
Yes, exactly. And the PR, the PNP is very easy over there. So yes, that is also best option. So it totally depends upon you. What is your mindset? Like, you want to go for postgrad or masters. So next question is by Aditi.
Or can you hear the previous question again?
About
It is
part-time
a
question, right?
Studying a master degree from a university in a small city where part-time jobs are less, or should I do like PG diploma from a college in a big city where part-time jobs would be easily available?
Okay. So just a quick thing. I think what I would go is I would go, just to answer like very objective, I would go with the second option, which is I would do a postgraduate diploma in a city where I can get a lot of part-time courses jobs. Why? Because if you're getting more part-time jobs in a city, that obviously means the level of economic activity in that zone is higher. Secondly, a lot of studies have proven that when it comes to actually getting a final employment offer, it does not make a significant difference whether you have a master's or a postgraduate diploma certificate. Postgraduate diplomas and certificates, they really help you specialize into a niche field without actually spending too much on your tuition fees in the first place. So if you guys feel like, okay, like maybe I want to be on a budget, at the same time I want to, like what sounds to me from your profile, at the same time I want a job, part-time job that's easily available so I can finance my education, plus I also want a qualification that's going to help me get a permanent job. I think the second option of having a PG diploma in a city where part-time jobs are available would be a better option for you.
So basically, it's personal opinion for students.
I mean, no, I'm just saying that's what I would do. That's what I would do. It's a personal opinion, but that's what makes more sense to me.
Okay. So next question is by Aditi, and she's asking, could you help me get a more clear idea of post-graduation scholarships and Master of Mass Communication in Canada? So this question we have answered in our last session. If you see the video also, you can just go through with the video for the postgrad scholarships things. We will put the link over this particular video itself. You can go through with that. And for mass communication in Canada, yes, we have options available. You can contact us directly. You can DM us directly on this iApply, or you can call us on our toll-free number. So we will help you out with this. So next question is by Teju. And she's asking, I'm in second year of BTech Biotechnology in Agriculture, and I want to do my Masters MTech in Biotechnology, Agriculture Biotechnology in Canada. So can I know some universities with scholarship?
Okay, so first what I will suggest you to research on why you want to do a Masters in Technology as compared to a postgraduate diploma, right? Because there's a lot of different things when it comes to a master's course in the technology area, because you will require a GRE first of all. If you have it, it's well and good. Otherwise, what I will suggest you, go for a PG diploma for a reputed college first. Of course, once you're done with that, you will get a much better job prospect as compared to a master's course, which will most probably lead you up to a university job, either a professor, right? Most probably in the university. That's what happens 90% of the
Yeah,
time.
but for technical job, PG diplomas are
Yes,
much better,
exactly.
and you will get different options available. If you go for a master, you will have a set that you will get this master in particular stream, but there are specialization available in postgrad diplomas. So
Also,
yes.
like this kind of information is very easily available on our platform as well. We actually launched iApply's second version just yesterday, so that's available, which makes the search process a lot easier. If you're searching for some postgraduate certification or even a master's degree in technology, you should be able to find a lot of options within those two fields. Just go onto the website www.iapply.io and search for those courses and see like which ones do we have scholarships available on.
And again, we are not denying you if you want to help and to do masters.
Yeah.
If you have a GRE, welcome.
Yeah.
We're opening our hands. Come to us, we'll apply.
Yeah.
Right, but GRE is required.
Yeah.
Next question is by Jawar. Do we need to pay GIC even though we paid full fees for 1 year course?
Yes, so GIC is different than the 1 year course, right? I'm sure you're aware GIC, the Guaranteed Investment Certificate, is the living expense. आपने tuition fees दे दी, that is totally different. I'm sorry, yeah, as I said.
No, but like, don't we want to discuss that? What if he's not applying for an STS category?
Yeah, it
That
will go
would
in
make a difference, right? Like,
yeah, if you want to apply under non-SDS, then of course it's not
so
necessary.
let's be very clear. There's two things, right? STS and non-STS. If you want to go for non-STS, then it's perfectly fine if you pay your 1 year tuition fees and you do not want to pay for your guaranteed investment certificate. That's all right. You're fine. But if you want your visa to be processed under the STS category, in that case, you have to be paying a minimum of your first semester's worth of tuition fees. Plus, a GIC is extremely important. Like that is a definitive requirement to be applying in an STS category. So if you're still confused what the difference between STS and non-STS is and which one should you be applying for, give us a call on our toll-free number 1-800-890-1775,
Yes.
or like just shoot us an Instagram message with your name, your contact details, and whether or not you've taken IELTS, and one of us will get in touch with you hopefully today or tomorrow.
Yeah, and if you're not paying GIC, obviously you have to show some funds, like 6 to 7 lakhs of funds is necessary to show if a student is not paying GIC. Yeah.
This is a complicated issue. Just give us a call
Yeah.
and we'll help you figure it out. Yeah, or send us an Instagram message. Actually, that's better.
So the next question is by Santosh. He is asking, can I work in Canada with just a bachelor's degree from India?
Work in Canada, of course, you can do much more than
The
that.
question is like he is asking.
Like what?
Yeah, you can do a master's, you can work, you can start a business, do anything. You have a bachelor's degree, that's something you should be proud of, but you cannot directly go and work there. You have to have either a master's degree or a postgraduate diploma from Canada.
I mean,
to
you
start
can
working.
even go the PR way, but like the you can apply for a work permit and all that kind of stuff. But that's a little different. At this point, it'll be a little hard to go through the work permit way because, as it is, employment opportunities because of COVID would have seen a significant hit. That's what we opened up with. A lot of people have been laid off across Canada, not just Canada. I mean, everywhere else on the world. So you having an Indian educational qualification, going for a job, competing with people who have a Canadian passport and hold a Canadian education, your odds are not very high. But the best way to get entry into this is maybe go for like a 1 or a 2 year postgraduate diploma.
So we have next question by Sankar. He is asking, is iApply available in Chennai?
Absolutely, yes. So iApply is available all across India. We actually are also available in Bangladesh as well. So you guys, no matter where you guys are from, Chennai, Ahmedabad, like I mean, I can't name all the cities in India, but iApply is available everywhere.
It is available internationally as long as you hold an Indian passport.
Yeah, it's even available internationally. So if you guys have friends who maybe like live in Europe or like Dubai or like Canada, wherever, as long as a person holds an Indian passport or a Bangladeshi passport, they are eligible to be applying through iApply and free to get our services as well. Yeah.
So next question is by Vedanti, but she's asking a future question basically. Hey, I am planning to do MR in 2022-2024. So how are the job opportunities for architects? So see, you are talking about the future thing, right? And opportunities for architecture. See, construction is a thing which will go on, which will flourish, by time. So yes, but we can't give you exact idea because you are asking us about like 2 or 3 years
Like,
before.
yeah, like the thing is that, I mean, other in general, other usual circumstances, I would have said it's amazing, it's awesome,
Yeah.
like it'll be fine. But because of COVID, the economy is really slowed down. So, what kind of an impact is that going to have on construction activity over the course of the next 4 or 5 years? That's hard to say right now. But I think if I were to venture a guess, I would say that construction will be a little slower, especially with the overdevelopment that's happened in areas like Toronto and stuff like that. But that being said, there are other provinces and cities, like for example, a lot of places in Alberta that are undergoing significant development. A lot of places in the, what do you call it, the northeastern provinces,
Atlantic,
right?
all the
Atlantic,
provinces.
Atlantic provinces like Newfoundland and all that, New Brunswick, where you will expect to see a lot of development over the next 1 or 2 decades. So maybe if you're looking at that, there could be some opportunities over there.
Exactly.
So we have next question. What we can expect from Jan 21 intake? It is asked by Tosif. So Tosif, like in what sense you're asking?
I'm
Like
pretty
what?
sure he means is it in
Yeah.
person or
In person or online?
Yeah, as I at the moment, everyone has been getting deferred offer letters or new offer letters for in-person classes. I don't think there's a single student across Canam or in fact any other place who has gotten an offer for January 21 that says for online classes,
Yeah.
right? So that must answer the question, right? So
But
in-person yoga.
just say the question again.
What we can expect from January 21 intake?
I think I would really say it's a 50-50 kind of situation right now, in that there's literally a 0.5 probability that you will be able to go to Canada and attend in-person classes, or there could also be a probability that you might have to start your course online. But we've been recommending to students, left, right, and center, that if you do have the opportunity to start your course online, do it, because you get the same benefits, you're eligible for the same work permit, you're completing the same degree. You will eventually move to Canada, and all the time you've spent here will be counted towards your work permit and your eligibility over there. But you would have saved thousands of dollars in cost,
Yes.
right? So that significantly reduces the cost of your education if you start your course online from here.
So there is like a lot of questions, but we have.
But let's just take like 2 more questions, because
Yeah,
we
the
really
next
see
question is silver dot mist. I wanna go to Montreal. Please suggest some good colleges.
Canada
Oh,
College, Hurzin College, CJ,
Sajjan is there,
CCSQ,
Vanier is
M
there,
College.
M College.
LaSalle,
College.
LaSalle is there.
Montreal is like, it's my personal favorite. So like I'm actually I graduated from Montreal as well. I did my undergrad there, and it is undoubtedly one of the best cities to be in. There's so many options lately that have come out, and also the fact the entire path to actually getting a permanent residency in Quebec is a lot easier. So send us a query on Instagram with your name, your contact details, and whether or not you've taken IELTS, or give us a call on our toll-free number. Actually, you can. There's another way to do this as well. You can log on to our website www.iapply.io. On the top right corner, you will see a request callback button. Put in your name and phone number there. That works too. And one of us will get in touch with you, and we'll let you know what are the various options in Montreal. And trust me, there are like a lot of them. So yeah.
So we'll just take 2 last questions. Second last is by Digvijay, and he's asking, sorry for disturbing, but can I ask the question here? Question: the Wine and Business Management program of George Brown College, Toronto. Can you give some info, please? Like what kind of info you want to ask? And I just want to suggest you that if you want to basically go for Wine and Business Management, Niagara College is the best option also. Like if you want to see a second preference.
Reason being the jobs, winery, all that goes towards hotels. So
Exactly.
that all and adds up to hospitality.
Yeah.
And why Niagara is the best choice? Because of course Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
So most
Tourism
hotels,
is
the
there.
best, most tourism is over there.
Plus like you get to drink wine all the time.
Exactly.
Because life can't be better, man. Trust
But
me.
GBC program, GBC of course is a great college. So I'm pretty sure, I think it's a 1-year course, so it will be a good course too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's have one last question.
So there is a question by Farhan Azmi. He's asking, Ma'am, what would be the minimum fees for PG diploma, because I have some financial issues. So see, guys, there is college like FAMSHO, they have $12,000 fees also for 1 year, right? So you will, like, the minimum it can goes to $11,000 to $12,000, and there are options available. Like if we talk about Canada College also, they have $18,500 for 2-year fees. So if you are seeing financial thing, you can go for it. And yes, in Memorial University also, if you're going for a bachelor diploma, they have a fee structure of like $12,000 for 1 year for bachelor degree for 1 year.
Okay guys, so thank you all for joining us in. We know we've got a lot of other questions, but we're sorry guys, we're not able to answer all. We actually have a very busy day at the office, and we only have like a half-hour slot from 12 to 12:30 to conduct this session. If you still have like a lot of questions, please just like feel free to either send us an email or give us a call, or send us a message on Instagram, and we'll try and answer your queries over there. But thanks so much for joining us in, guys. We'll be back again next Tuesday.
Yeah.
With do we know what we're discussing next Tuesday? Okay, so our producer
Joey is
has
over,
not.
guys.
We always ask them questions.
Okay, so
Inky queries.
our producer Cecil has not yet decided what we'll be discussing next week. But if you guys have some suggestions, please feel free to send us an Instagram message on that as well. But just like guys, iApply is a digital extension of CanApp. It's powered by artificial intelligence. That's something we've extensively discussed. You guys can now use the platform. We just launched the second version yesterday. You can use the platform to search, browse, shortlist, and apply to multiple courses, all of it just from your phone. Right? So if you log on to www.iapply.io, everything from program recommendation to selection to uploading your documents to checking the intakes to getting your visa to paying your tuition fees, everything can be done over the portal, and all of us, like us plus another team of 22 other people, are always available over the phone to discuss your concerns, to guide you, to recommend programs to you, and make sure that your process goes along smoothly.
And it is totally free of cost.
And it's absolutely free of cost.
Free of cost.
Right guys, so go on to it. It's www.iapply.io and register yourselves for free, and upon registration get a call from us. Okay, thank you guys, see you next week.
Thank you, stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe guys. Stay safe.